This news update is brought to you by...
Say hello to Carol. Carol talks for a living, from morning till night. So she relies on Flo's crystal clear home phone service brought to her through Flo's 100% fiber to the home network. It keeps her in the know, and because she bundles her mobile broadband and TV services, she enjoys huge savings, so she can enjoy much more for much less. So visit any Flo retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
It's Friday, September the 2nd, 2016, and this is your Barbados Today Morning News Update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, police have repeated a pledge to rid the streets of illegal guns following two separate serious shooting incidents within hours of each other yesterday. 46-year-old Ricardo Bryan of Black Rock, St. Michael is dead after being gunned down just before 8 last night in the car park of Lucky Horseshoe in Warrens, St. Michael. Bryan was shot multiple times and died on the spot. Up to late last night, no one had been held in connection with this latest shooting incident. But Acting Police Public Relations Officer Roland Cobbler said the force wants to work hand in hand with the public in bringing the perpetrators of these crimes to justice.
You would recognize that, last couple of weeks, there have been a number of incidents involving gun-related crime. So with this increasing manifestation of gun-related crime, there will be some concern for us. So we are going to continue to encourage the members of the public to use those anonymous systems of reporting and pass information so we can try to rid our streets of these illegal guns.
About 18 hours earlier, a 16-year-old boy was in critical condition at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital after he was shot in the head during a shootout at Wotton in Christchurch. 3 other people were injured. The Cayfield campus of the University of the West Indies is continuing to reel from government's decision to have Barbadians cover their tuition fees from 2014. Having seen its enrollment plummet following the imposition of the fees, the university is being hit from a fresh angle this year that could deal a further blow to its financing. Top UWI officials revealed yesterday that a large percentage of prospective students who were accepted for the new school year were turning down the offer of places, apparently because they can't afford the fees. Co-chair of the campus financial aid program, Dr. Donnelly Carrington, told a press conference the university has a plan in place to rescue those students whose parents just can't find the money to pay for their higher education.
Because this is one of the challenges that we saw, that persons may not be able to access higher education if their family did not have the means by which to provide the tuition fees. So the government has responded, the university has responded to deal with that group of individuals who find themselves in the lower socioeconomic grouping. So the higher education grant is ready to deal with those who are in the lower socioeconomic group, as well as we here at the university are very mindful that we do not want any individual out there whose parents are unable to fund their university education, and that person is a good candidate for entry into the university to be denied on the basis of finance. So we want to encourage those persons to come in and let us have the discussion, because we want to deal specifically with that group that find themselves in the lower socioeconomic group who we do not want to shut the doors to the university education.
Officers of the Immigration Department have been cleared of any wrongdoing in their handling of a Jamaican visitor last weekend. The Division of Defense and Security in the Prime Minister's office has absolved immigration officers, saying it had found no evidence that officers had mistreated Sonia King when she arrived here on Saturday for a brief visit. King told Barbados Today earlier this week that she and her 14-month-old son Caleb had been treated inhumanely, made to wait for hours in cold and uncomfortable conditions, and given a dirty mattress and blanket on which to spend the night. The defunct jetty in Speightstown is said to be hampering the expansion of marine tourism in the north. Chairman of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, Roseanne Myers, says that, for example, some of the island's best-looking underwater reefs are in St. Peter, but the Atlantic submarines can't be towed there because of the non-functioning jetty.
The north, especially the northwest, has some of the best coral reef development in Barbados. And the further north you go, the more pristine the reefs become. The only reason that Atlantis is not diving in the north is because of that jetty. If that jetty was operational, we would be in a situation where we could tow the vessel up and leave it here, and maybe 2 or 3 days a week we operate from the north, and it would really expand our market offering, because the people who would have, over the 30 years we've been in Barbados, 29 years, who have seen the reef that we're on, would be able to come and do a second and a third tour, as we would be able to do not only day dives in the north, but night dives. So again, and already I am trying to show what the potential for the north can be if we look at some infrastructural developments.
Myers was speaking during a panel discussion on the development of tourism in northern Barbados.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
God, these papers ain't selling at all. Get your paper. Only $2.25, get your paper. Get your paper, miss. Look, take it, I can pay for it.
Barbados today, all the way.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
On the regional scene, another maternal death has been recorded at the Georgetown Public Hospital in Guyana. Details surrounding the death are still sketchy, but according to Public Health Minister Dr. George Norton, an investigation is underway. More in this report from Handel Duncan.
As recent as Wednesday, the country recorded another maternal death, and according to Public Health Minister Dr. George Norton, all efforts are being made to lower such deaths.
I knew of it almost when it was taking place. It's something that affects us.
Specific details surrounding the death have been withheld.
There is a process. We haven't been gotten down to all the details as yet, and I'd prefer to wait until we get that report from the doctors.
It is reported, though, that the process started at the West Demerara Regional Hospital, but the death occurred at the GPHC where the patient was transferred. PAHO WHO representative Dr. William Adukro added, though, that patients hardly die at private doctors' offices.
They wait till you're just about to die, and then they send you to the referral hospital, and then they say, oh, well, it was the referral hospital that killed you. And that's not usually the case.
And there's good news for oncology patients in Trinidad and Tobago with the arrival of much-needed cancer medication from yesterday and continuing over the next week. The country is expected to have 80% of the drugs by then, with the remainder expected by month's end. Minister of Health Terence Dale Singh, speaking at the weekly post-cabinet media briefing, also gave the assurance that long-term measures were being put in place to ensure that this drug shortage would be resolved once and for all.
Once those drugs are cleared and goes to our warehouse at C40, they will be distributed as quickly as possible to all the public health centers.
The recurring problem of critical oncology drug shortages annually has forced the minister's hand in defining a definitive solution.
Put in place an interim measure, a short-term measure of $245 million into the system. The drugs started to come in from since July. The oncology drugs will be here soon, but the long-term solution is for the Ministry of Health to properly oversee NIBDEC and to provide NIBDEC with the information and the funding so that the days of these perennial shortages of drugs can be a thing of the past.
Further afield now, Tropical Storm Hermine has strengthened into a hurricane, bringing a dangerous storm surge to Florida. Hermine was making landfall in Florida late last night to become the first hurricane to hit the state since 2005. Governor Rick Scott has declared a state of emergency for 51 counties as residents brace for the dangerous storm. That's news and sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.